New tonight, rescue at sea. The U.S. captain held by pirates is now safe. How Navy SEALs pulled it off.
And courthouse chaos. What happened when the Chicago police officer accused in a deadly crash had his bond hearing today? Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mai Martinez.
And I'm Jim Williams. We begin with the dramatic and violent rescue of Captain Richard Phillips off the coast of Somalia. President Obama approved the use of force, and U.S. Navy SEALs took action. Tonight, Phillips is resting comfortably after 5 tense and grueling days as a hostage. This is video of him after the rescue. As CBS 2's Drew Levinson reports, his rescue came down to a split-second decision by Navy snipers.
Captain Richard Phillips is safe tonight thanks to the U.S. Navy SEALs who made a daring rescue at sea. Now in Africa and the United States, they're cheering, but nowhere more so than in the captain's home state of Vermont. Halfway around the world, the feeling of relief is unmistakable.
Thanks, guys.
This is Captain Richard Phillips soon after the Navy SEALs rescued him from the hands of Somali pirates Sunday. News traveled quickly to the shores of Kenya, where his crew is docked.
The captain never gave his crew up.
Phillips traded himself for his crew when pirates attacked the Maersk, Alabama off the coast of Somalia last Wednesday. 4 armed men held him hostage aboard a lifeboat, but U.S. warships were close by, trying to negotiate a peaceful end to the standoff. Discussions quickly ended Sunday when the pirates pointed their AK-47s at Phillips, who was tied up inside the lifeboat.
The unseen commander determined that the captain was in imminent danger.
Navy SEALs opened fire on the pirates, killing 3. The 4th pirate, who was negotiating on board an American warship, gave himself up. Defense Department officials say he is not even old enough to be tried as an adult. The CEO of Maersk spoke to Phillips shortly after his rescue.
And I'm going to quote him. "John, I'm just the byline. The heroes are the Navy, the SEALs, and those that have brought me home."
The news brought his family and friends running.
This is truly a very happy Easter for the Phillips family. Andrea and Richard have spoken. I think you can all imagine their joy.
Phillips is expected back in his hometown of Underhill, Vermont in a few days. President Obama said the courage shown by the captain is a model for all Americans. In New York, Drew Levinson, CBS 2 News.
And President Obama actually spoke to Phillips by phone after his rescue. It was the president who also issued the order for the rescue mission if Navy SEALs determined the captain was in danger. Naval commanders in the area plan to step up their patrols in coming days. They fear pirates may step up their attacks in retaliation.
Now to the turmoil at the criminal courts building today. Joseph Frugoli is accused of drunk driving and causing a deadly crash last week. He was granted bond today, which sparked the chaos.
Leave him alone!
CBS 2's Suzanne Lemignot was there and explains what happened.
Cook County Sheriff's police officers charge out of the criminal courts building. They were running after this man, Mario Lopez. He's a friend of one of the 2 victims killed in this fiery crash on the Dan Ryan. Police say off-duty CPD detective Joseph Frugoli caused it. He's accused of being drunk at the time. Lopez was inconsolable after hearing a judge announce a $500,000 bond for Frugoli. He was screaming profanities and allegedly made threats of violence. Lopez went across the street. Officers followed. Lopez put his hands behind his head. Officers brought Lopez to the ground and cuffed him.
My name is Lopez.
After Lopez's arrest, friends of both Andrew Casares and Fausto Mancera said they were furious Frugoli's bond was so low.
They were your kids. We'd be in prison. No bond at all.
At his bond hearing, Frugoli's attorney, citing a police report, said the victim's car was in the right lane, not on the shoulder of the Dan Ryan. The car had no hazard lights on. His client came down the ramp and the collision happened. He also said his client, with 4 commendations and 60 honorable mentions for police work, was disoriented after the crash. He was walking up the Roosevelt ramp, not running from the scene.
We're very pleased that the fear bond was set on this case. This is a tragedy for 3 families.
The prosecutor painted a much different picture of Frugoli. He said the 18-year law enforcement veteran crossed several lanes on Roosevelt Road before being cuffed by police. He also said Frugoli was speeding in his black Lexus SUV before slamming it into the disabled red Dodge with Cazares and Mancera inside it. The Dodge was against a concrete barrier, not in the right lane.
$500,000.
While friends of the young victims chose to express outrage outside the criminal courts building, family members who spoke inside chose a different tone.
We're just trying to stay focused, trying to put Fausto to rest right now and celebrate his life.
Suzanne Lemignot, CBS 2 News.
The prosecutor also talked about Frugoli's driving record. They say he ran a stop sign in 1990 and hit a police car, injuring 2 officers. They also say Frugoli was in another traffic accident in 2005, which left another driver hurt, and paid $7,100 in damages in that case. Frugoli is free on bond. He's due back in court tomorrow and has been ordered to surrender his passport.
A Chicago police officer is recovering after he was shot early this morning during an attempted carjacking. It happened around 3 o'clock in the Gresham neighborhood. The 36-year-old officer, off duty at the time, was shot in the arm. He is expected to recover. Police have not released his name. They are searching for the suspect.
A traffic stop paid off for Chicago police detectives. According to police, this man raped at least 2 women in his Southside neighborhood. 23-year-old Robert Ellerby was driving the wrong way on a one-way street when detectives say he pulled over to talk to a woman. They noticed he resembled the composite sketch of a suspect in 2 rapes, so they questioned him, and he confessed to the crimes. Ellerby is being held on $1 million bond.
On this Easter Sunday, Pope Benedict is urging Catholics around the world to work together to end poverty. People packed St. Peter's Square at the Vatican to celebrate Easter, the day Christians believe Jesus was resurrected. The Pope's message took on special significance for the tens of thousands of survivors of last weekend's earthquake in Italy. He prayed they would have the courage to rebuild their homes and lives.
While many people celebrated Easter services in church this morning, some headed to Daley Plaza. The annual Interfaith Sunrise Easter service is organized by the Thomas More Society. Those who attended this morning's service did not seem to mind the chill in the air. And the faithful also gathered at the Holy Name Cathedral Parish Center to celebrate Easter Mass with Francis Cardinal George. There was a little more security than usual. That's because last year, anti-war protesters disrupted the service as the Cardinal began his Easter homily. Holy Name's main cathedral remains closed as workers repaired damage to the landmark building, which was caused by a fire in February. And still ahead, on this Easter Sunday, another massive fire at a Christian center. The damage is almost unbelievable.
You have earned the new puppy that's coming with us to the White House.
And the president makes good on a campaign promise. Meet the newest addition to the First Family.
I'm Rick DeMaio. Some nasty thunderstorms are moving through the Gulf Coast states. While we're not expecting severe weather in Chicago, some of this rain may be problematic for the Cubs home opener tomorrow. Details in a couple minutes.
This portion of CBS 2 News is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees.
Flying from Chicago Midway to Minneapolis, St. Paul for business? Southwest Airlines offers a 7 a.m., 8:40, 10:55, 1 p.m., 3, 5 p.m. That's a lot of flights. Southwest Airlines has 8 daily nonstop flights from Chicago Midway to Minneapolis, St. Paul. Now you can fly when you want and do business your way. Book now only at southwest.com. Low fares, no hidden fees.
Announcing the Ford Advantage Plan, a better plan to get you into a built Ford Tough truck. While others say there's no credit available, Ford Credit says there is. Check for pre-approval at FordVehicles.com. And if you lose your paycheck, Ford will make your payments for up to 12 months. Quality, credit, and payment protection. That's the Ford Advantage Plan.
Get a Ford F-150 with 0% financing or $4,000 cash back plus $1,000 bonus cash. And if you lose your paycheck, Ford will make your payments for up to 12 months.
Next, Entertainment Tonight.
We were worth $100 million.
Marie Osmond on the day her family lost everything.
It was all gone.
Plus, dancing star pedicures. Emma Cougar, next ET.
Tonight at 6:30 on CBS 2.
A massive fire tonight in New Hampshire has destroyed 40 buildings at a Christian retreat. One firefighter was slightly injured. The buildings are reportedly small lake cottages. Firefighters are now trying to determine the cause of the blaze. The Alton Bay Christian Conference Center dates back to 1863.
It is a crime that rocked the small Northern California community of Tracy. Now relatives of a Sunday school teacher accused of killing a young girl say they are as baffled as their neighbors. 28-year-old Melissa Huckabee was arrested late Friday night and charged in the death of 8-year-old Sandra Cantu. The girl disappeared March 27th. Her body was found nearly a week ago, stuffed in a suitcase that belongs to Huckabee. Police believe the girl was actually killed at the church a short time after she vanished. The suspect's daughter was the victim's best friend. In a statement today, Huckabee's family members, who did not give their names, said they wanted neighbors to know they share their grief.
While we try to make sense of such a tragedy, we know that the family and the community have a great many questions, and so do we. We do know that the information that we've been given regarding the charges against Melissa Huckabee are completely out of character for her.
Huckabee is in custody and on suicide watch. Her arraignment is scheduled for Tuesday.
The government of Thailand has declared a state of emergency after protests turned violent. Soldiers opened fire on anti-government demonstrators in the capital of Bangkok. 70 people were hurt. The protesters are supporters of the ousted former prime minister. They want new elections, saying the current government took power illegitimately.
Still ahead, our Easter weather turned out nice, but what about conditions for the Cubs home opener?
Here's a live look outside. Rain is on the way, so can the Northsiders still play ball?
Also ahead,
find out why the Obama's new dog should be a walk in the park. That story coming up.
Excuse me, my daughter has a rash. Is there a drugstore nearby?
Do you mean pharmacy?
Sure, pharmacy, whatever.
I've got 1.2 million.
I just need one, actually, nearby and open on Sunday would be great.
I've got images, news groups. Would you like to see your exact location from outer space?
No, just a drugstore.
I know 3 in this neighborhood. 2 open Sundays, one's a chain. They have coupons. Just saying.
The new Dexnose.com. Smarter than your average search. More exact, more detailed, a lot more local. Dexnose.com.
May I help you? Oh, I'm torn between the two.
Oh, they're both quite lovely.
Yes. I'll take this one.
Excellent choice.
No, the entire case.
With thousands of slots and over 100 table games, there's no better chance of hitting it big.
Thanks.
Potawatomi Bingo Casino. What'll you do if you